It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. GVL Satya Kumar, Managing Director of the Center for Railway Information Systems, who will present his keynote address. So let's give him a warm round of applause.
Very good morning to you all. How many of you have heard of this organization called CRIS? CRIS? I think hardly 15-20 hands. And as I normally start my address, how many of you have known Indian Railways? Actually, Indian Railways needs no introduction. I mean, we all know that it is one of the largest rail network in the world. It carries almost 22 million passengers per day, transporting around 4 billion tons of cargo originating. It places around 70,000 route kilometers, and to carry this transportation, it deploys assets of around 20,000 locomotives, 3.5 lakh freight cars, around 70,000 passenger coaches, and with an employee strength of 1.2 million. And it is a vertically integrated organization under a single management, unlike most of the railways in the world. And just to think of it, prior to 1986, this was all being administered and managed and governed, if you may say, in a non-automated or a non-computerized world. And in 1986, Railways decided to computerize, and the first time Center for Rail Information System has been formed with a specific mandate to design, develop, deploy and maintain all the IT applications of the Indian Railways. So in the last 38 years, the role of CRIS is primarily the IT backbone for the railway. Right from your ticketing system, what you find today, to the core operations of the railway or the asset management functions of the railway. We have, over the last 40 years, built almost around 180 applications. So in this entire journey, you find in the first 2 decades, 1986 to almost around 2006, you find that only 2 major applications were rolled out. One was the passenger ticketing, and the second was a bit on freight operations. Just to give you the transformation which occurred in the technology of ticketing, many of us prior to 1986 and even before that are used to taking tickets from the counters with the printed card tickets. Almost that was the 100% mode of dispensing tickets on the reserved category or on the unreserved category for the railways. In 1986 when we started with 4 data centers which were distributed at Chennai, Mumbai, Calcutta and Delhi, each one catering to its own regional ticketing. For example, Chennai could cater to from Chennai to Trivandrum, but you wanted to take a ticket from Chennai to Amritsar, probably you could not take it. So around 1990s, all the DCs were meshed, and now you could take a ticket from anywhere to anywhere from any counter. And come around 2000s, web ticketing started, and now you have mobile ticketing. And as we stand today, almost around 25,000 tickets are dispensed per minute, and there is a modernization project which is going on to take this capacity to 2.2 lakh tickets per minute. Come December 25, this initiative would have been in place. So if you are talking about digital transformation, especially for legacy and the brownfield organizations, what changed? I mean, we continue to evolve with the technology. Even take the railway core operations. Prior to 1986 or even 2006, just like similar to what air traffic control operates the entire airspace across the country by carving out across the 6 ATCs which control the airspace of almost 3.5 lakhs square kilometers, where the ATC controls the flight within its jurisdiction. Similar to that, railway also along the 70,000 route kilometers has around 70 control offices which control movement of the train, be it the operations, be it the safety, be it the asset maintenance and finance, procurement, HR functions, all are localized within those 70 controls. And prior to 2006, all this was in a manual mode. A controller used to have a time and distance chart. In fact, in front of him, every 6 hours he used to come and then have a continuous communication with the stations using the DTMF equipment. And as the train moves in space and time, he used to actually plot it with a pen and pencil and control the movement of the train. For example, if there is a freight train going ahead and the Rajdhani coming behind, he would actually tell the station to detain the train and move Rajdhani ahead. So that was the essence of controlling. And he also used to plan for the downtime maintenance. All this was done manually prior to 2006. While ticketing, we started automating in 1986. From 2006, Railway has started automating its entire operations. Now as the train passes, we have a system with real-time information system with through satellite communication every 1 second. The lat long as well as the date and time stamp for the train gets into a database which again not only is used for controlling but also fires your national train inquiry system. And even further, I mean, when a train passes through any station, once it touches, say, a data logger or a home signal, automatically it picks up and it gets into a database as a second validation. So be it in the core business development applications or in the core applications of operations, the transformation of railway has undergone through digitally. But what we find today is something which is outpacing us in terms of the technologies that are evolving. All this data which used to come in semi-automated or manual modes now is coming through real-time sensors, be it every operation of the railway. I mean, even though we have digitized almost all our 180 applications across operations, business, asset management, we classify assets as fixed assets and rolling assets. Like fixed is signal, traction. Similarly, rolling is coaches, locomotives, wagons. The entire asset life cycle, once it is inducted into the system through the repair and maintenance cycles until it is condemned, the entire application is built and currently running. So as we stand today, we find that there is no activity in the railway which is not getting into a backend database. But the challenge ahead of us is the way in which the data is getting into our systems is undergoing a rapid transformation. Be it sensorization. For example, as the wagon or a coach moves on the track, you have on the wayside equipment which detects the signature of acoustics between the track and the wagon. And these are getting in real time, and based on the thresholds, the signatures are made and detected whether is there any anomaly in the track or anomaly in the wagon. So the sensors which coming in for the real time, coming in both safety, operational as well as passenger amenities. All our escalators, lifts, pumps, walls across the Indian Railways are almost at the stage of getting sensorized. I mean 30-40% is already done and the remaining 70% would be done. So the challenge for us as we go ahead is how to handle this real-time information systems which are coming. And second is the opportunity what the railway has, because I don't think there is any organization in the country which is as data rich and as structured data as railway has as on date. So using this data for optimization. For example, we had around 2 decades back something called a long-range decision support system, which could actually tell you, given a snapshot of a train, what is the optimal route it needs to be taken. But to run that simulation, it used to take maybe 3 or 4 days. But now our opportunity is there where we can actually run the simulation within a few hours. So these capabilities which are coming in are throwing up a lot of challenges for us in terms of how rapidly we move ahead in terms of leveraging on the emerging technologies. And last but not the least is as we keep on proliferating the sensors across the entire gamut of operations and governance on the railway. As we stand today, there is a project going on for putting 3.5 lakh GPS trackers on all our wagons. There is a project which is going on for installing 6 lakh cameras in our locomotives and coaches, and many of them are coming with AI interfaces. So with these, the challenges of cyber security too are growing up. I mean, but I'm sure as we continue to evolve and architect well, we will be able to beat these systems. So The challenges for many organizations are around real-time sensors, which are getting the real-time data, using optimization techniques for the data which is getting in, the challenge which is coming because the convergence or the fusion of the compute as well as the compute power as well as the algorithmic power which actually is available now for us to go ahead in terms of optimizing, and of course cyber security. These are the three main challenges, and this is what I just wanted to share with you about the railways, and I'm sure it will be in or like citizens of the country would definitely benefit from the transformational change which is going on in railways, and it will be a continual process, but now it will be a rapid progress given the way in which technologies are evolving. Thank you very much, and I wish the